Hey, all you basketball players out there, how many basketball skills can you name? How many skills are you currently working on trying to make them good habits? Well, today I'm going to share the 3 categories of basketball skills and how many skills are really out there that you may decide you want to add to your game. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Hard Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So we talked about at the head of the intro, how many basketball skills can you name? And I want you to pause for a minute now and just kind of go over in your head, what basketball skills can you think of and how many basketball skills can you name? Okay? Maybe how many basketball skills do you know of and maybe you're working on? Maybe you're working on them to make good habits out of them. And once you kind of go through kind of a mental list of basketball skills, you might be counting them up right now. I want you to have a number in your head because I want you to compare that number that you have right now to the number that maybe you have at the end of this video, and we may add some skills to it. We'll talk about that. And because today we're going to break down 3 very distinct categories of basketball skills that you can add to your game, that you can be developing habits in. And so we're going to break down those 3 categories, and we're going to talk about how many skills total there really are and see if that number that you have in your head, if it changes by the end. So if you got a number in your head, most of you guys are probably thinking of skills like shooting, like dribbling, passing, catching, rebounding, on-ball defense, help side defense. All your, if you've listened to this channel for a long time, maybe you're talking about things like on-court communication as a skill, right? Who knows? You might have in your head right now 10, 15, 20, 25 skills you might have counted up. Hopefully maybe even more, right? But let's talk about, before we get into the 3 categories, let's talk about what a skill is. So the skill is something you've learned, okay? And you have the power to do it maybe confidently, okay? It's not maybe a habit yet. You know we really distinguish between skills and habits and that path to making good habits. But you can do something, right? A skill is something you can do. You know about it and you can do it. And I truly think that most skills are things that you can make good habits out of. So what are these 3 categories I referred to? The first is your on-court physical basketball skills. We just named some of them. Shooting, passing, catching, rebounding, whatever the case might be. And if you came up with skills in that category, you may have come up with, like I said, a number of those. But when you start breaking down each of those skills, there's a bunch of every physical skill that we just named on the court has a bunch of kind of like broken down micro skills. Skills that you need to make good habits out of. Skills that maybe you have some bad habits right now, right? Let's take shooting as an example. Just shooting a jump shot. The skills or the habits of, bending your knees, extending, snapping your wrist, holding your follow through, all types of little micro skills that go into developing a shot when a coach works with you to break down a shot. Well, every physical skill that we talked about in the intro of, rebounding or whatever has a bunch of little micro skills, a bunch of little things that you can make good habits out of. And so now our list is growing, right? If you started out with 10 skills, now you might be a lot more, right? Because of those micro skills that go in to each one of those kind of bigger, broader category physical skills. Now, unfortunately, physical on-court skills are where the majority of average players spend the majority of their time, their focus, their effort, their learning, okay? And if I have one of the biggest regrets that I have from my playing career is that I spent my majority of my time on working on all my on-court physical skills and not always the right ones. Let me tell you, not always the right ones, not always the ones that could get my career to where I wanted it to be or make me a better player or get me better playing time, more playing time, things of that nature, okay? But I spent all my focus, my learning, my effort on the on-court physical skills. That's where the majority of average players spend their time. What's the second category? The second category is what I like to call how you play skills. It's how you play the game. It can also be referred to as your basketball IQ. So what goes into these skills? And what are they? Well, it might be skills related to how you apply the physical skills that you're working with, that we just referred to, your physical on-court skills, how you apply them, which ones you should be working on. More knowledge of the game, more basketball IQ, how you play the game, you know which physical skills you should be working on. Which ones maybe you should not be spending a lot of time on, or which ones have maybe created some bad habits and you need to break those bad habits and replace them with good habits. So this basketball IQ world is where most coaches kind of focus on. This is where most coaches want smart players that they can rely on. But as I said, most average players are spending all their time, all their focus on the on-court physical skills. Now maybe you're different. And if you're watching this channel, you probably are different because we talk about a lot of basketball IQ items on this channel, and that's what I like to bring you. And I also like to bring you the third category. What's the third category of basketball skills? Well, the third category is, hey, I'll get back to the episode in just a second. I hope you're enjoying today's episode, and if you are, please share it. Share it with a player, share it with a parent, share it with a coach, anybody that you feel might need to hear it. I also wanted to give you a free gift that I've made available to you just for hanging out with me today. It's a checklist of skills for basketball players that want to become a better player, a better teammate, and to stand out to their coaches. Now, these skills are skills that are often overlooked, but they can be the foundation that a player can use to really achieve their goals. You can download it at hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. I'll put a link below in the description as well, but it's hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. Now let's jump back to today's episode. How you think. And we talk a lot about, on this channel as well, about how you think. What is your process for learning new skills? What is your process for taking those skills and making them habits? What is your process for, your approach to practice, your approach to games? What is your approach to different things, right? How do you develop that stable, unshakable confidence that we constantly talk about on this channel, right? What are the skills? How do you think that go into your confidence, that goes into your motivation, that goes into your vision for yourself, your basketball career, your future? What is your process for goal setting, things of that nature? Tons and tons of skills in the how you think. So we've talked about these physical skills and how they're broken down into tons and tons of physical skills. And then we've talked about the how you play the game skills. And there's so many basketball situations. There's so much to know about the game. There's hundreds and hundreds of basketball IQ skills that you could be developing. And then this is mindset, or how you think. there's hundreds and hundreds of skills there. So now we've taken whatever you had in your mind, and now there's hundreds of skills. So my point is that, and you might be a little overwhelmed right now, because there's good news and bad news. The good news is that the amount of skills that you can learn and make good habits out of and bring to your basketball journey are really limitless. There are hundreds and hundreds of skills that you can work on. And I said it's good news, bad news, because right now you might be going, oh my God, there's hundreds of skills. I thought there was just 10. I've been working on 10. Don't worry. This is a lifetime journey, right? A lifetime journey. Hopefully basketball is going to be in your life as a player, maybe as a coach. But throughout your entire career, that's the whole journey you're on, is in development and growing the list of skills that you decide to make habits that help you along that journey. So there's limitless things to add to your game, and that's the good news. It's also good news for me in this channel because I get to talk about a limitless number of topics. And I, as you know, like to focus on not just that first physical skills that you usually get with your coach or trainer, on-court stuff, but I like to focus on that, how you play the game and how you think. So I'd love to see a comment below. How many skills did you come up with in your head when we first started this video versus now that we've kind of talked about the breakdown and what the categories of skills are and how many there are? How many do you think there are now? And did that change your perspective in your basketball journey? Hopefully it did. Hopefully this helped. And I look forward to you joining us for, talking about these skills in the future. So until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.